the Pact and the agreement. After the German-Soviet Treaty of Sao Paulo in 1922, the Treaty of Berlin was signed in 1926. But all this was nothing in comparison with the Hitler-Stalin Pact in 1939, because it had two levels. And one of them was the secret protocol, which was made public only during the Nuremberg trials from 1945 to 1946. The secret protocol defined the borders of Nazi and Soviet spheres of influence across Estonia, Finland, Latvia, Lithuania, and Poland. This explained the fact that just after the invasion of Poland by the Nazis, the Soviets annexed first parts of the Karelia and Sala region in Finland, but also Estonia, Latvia, and Lithuania, as well as parts of Romania. Parts of those annexations even now belong to Russia, which was considered as the successor state of the Russian SSR after the dissolution of the Soviet Union in 1991. But the pact was also followed by the German-Soviet commercial agreement in 1940. Business was still business, even at that time. And it wasn't a problem for the ideology of the party. For it, the Soviet Union had every right to justify and promote its existence. So 2 points. The continuity. 3 treaties: Sao Paulo, Berlin, and of course, the Pact. In the Pact, 2 levels: the visible and the invisible. And you see that we needed many years to understand the secret protocol, to have a knowledge about this. And in fact, we see what the consequences before the fact. So we see the invasions, and after that, we understood what? That it was a provision. So it was predictable. And they were ready to do that, even for the Third Reich or the Soviet Union. But for us, it was a surprise. No surprise. Everything was manufactured before. The problem with Estonia, Latvia, and Lithuania, so the Baltic countries, but also Finland and Romania, is the problem of the contact. So you see that those countries are in contact with Soviet Union. So you can say, okay, how is possible with Romania? Don't forget Moldavia and Ukraine. At that time, we are in the Soviet Union. So it was possible to have this contact. And we see, in fact, that the agreement was to invade all those contact zones with no cost from the Nazi, because they could do the same thing on the other side. So you see, it's not just a little protocol. It's very important. And on the opposite, it's indicative that we find all this information only at the Nuremberg trials, which means at the end. And we find this from the Nazi documentation, not from the Soviet documentation. So we use the intelligence service to find all this, but after. So too late. And the result of this is that even now, those invasions are in fact part of Russia. So the impact was very important. And I mean for that you can see what? We have two guys, Hitler and Stalin, okay? They did this agreement, and at the end, we see what? The achievements of the Soviet Union are still there. The achievements of the Third Reich are not there anymore. You see the difference? So we, in fact, remove the impact of the Nazi, but we don't remove still now the impact of the Soviets. But it was at the same level, it was in the same pact, it was in the same agreement. So why this difference? Time. Only few time for Nazi, a very big time for Soviets. So the implication of people is totally different. So at the end of the process, we think that it's only old problem. No, it's not an old problem. It's a current problem. In fact, it's an issue. So this issue is alive in Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania, Romania, and of course, in Finland.